Hello everyone, welcome to YK Reviews, welcome back to another weekly entertainment news video, and boy what a week of news we've got to discuss here. So let's get straight into it here. Now, before we dive into everything, because there's so much to talk about, especially what happened on Tuesday with everything from DC Superman casting to Scream 7 shit show. If you are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing so that you're not missing out on this. We do these weekly entertainment news videos every single week, so that way you're always in the know when it comes to movie news, TV news, sometimes Lego and video game news. So definitely subscribe so that you're not missing out on that. I am trying to reach my goal of 300 by the end of the year, so do appreciate all the support I can get for reaching that goal here. And also, I know that a lot of people were celebrating Thanksgiving earlier this week, so for everyone that was celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday, and also going into like the cheesy sappy territory here, I'm honestly thankful for everybody that does watch the videos, that clicks on the videos, that smashes the like button, that does subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all of that here, so I'm thankful for that. And again, hope everybody had an enjoyable holiday. But we'll dive into the usual YouTube stuff here, because timestamps will be in the description down below, so anything that you're more interested in, anything that you want to hear my thoughts about in particular, timestamps will always be in the description down below. But first things first, before we get into like the major stuff here, there is some interesting stuff happening when it comes to the Planet of the Apes franchise, because we got a first look at the Kingdom of the Planet Apes. Now this came from the Empire magazine here, or Empire Online I guess, and this is showing here. So you've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is an adventure quest movie with a little bit of Star Wars in the mix. An exclusive image here which honestly looks like a video game screenshot rather than an actual movie. I don't know if you consider that a good thing or a bad thing, but I really like the look of this. We actually got a little bit of a plot because there was speculation about this being Caesar's son. Spoilers if you haven't seen the Matt Reeves trilogy or anything like that, but leaving off after what happened to Caesar at the end, we assume that this was Caesar's son. But this is kind of hinting that it's going more further into the timeline, because it's saying here that a new look of the Kingdom of the Planet Apes. Many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future of apes and humans alike. Because as you saw in the trailer too, you got sort of a switcheroo when it comes to like the humans and the apes. The apes are more evolved, whereas the humans are sort of de-evolved. So you're sort of getting that look. So definitely a lot of time has passed. So this could possibly mean that the character we are following isn't necessarily Caesar's son, but honestly a different ape, one that's maybe Caesar's grandson or just a completely different generation of apes. I'm really curious about that because the trailer did look fantastic, and so far from what we're hearing, I'm really looking forward to this. Really excited to see what they're going to do with it. I mentioned it when the trailer did get announced. It looks absolutely phenomenal, absolutely fantastic. So this has got me a little bit more excited. So again, you see this image, you hear this, what your thoughts are about it. Let me know in the comment section down below for this one. Are you excited? Are you slightly worried? Do you think this is going to be a bloodline of Caesar? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the next news story, we've got an update when it comes to the Blackening. This was the horror comedy movie that got released. I believe it was in July time. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it yet, but I've been hearing so many positives when it comes to the movie. But we got here coming from the Variety saying that the Blackening sequel is in the works with Dwayne Perkins, Tracy Oliver and E. Brian Dobbins. So Lionsgate are developing a sequel to the Blackening, the hit horror comedy from Dwayne Perkins and Tracy Oliver. And so honestly, like I mentioned, I've been hearing nothing but positivity when it comes to this movie. It's one I definitely do want to check out. It's on my watch list. I just haven't had the time to watch it, and with it coming out with such a busy period with like Oppenheimer and Barbie and Mission Impossible and all of that movies that did come out, this movie just kind of got lost in the shuffle for me. But like I said, a lot of positivity when it comes to this movie. Everybody always gives it such great praise, so really happy to hear that they are going to be developing a sequel, because from what I've heard in terms of the review, it does sound like they have like a lot of potential to explore when it comes to this side of the movie, a lot of things that they could work with. So I'm really happy about that. I want to check out the first one obviously before I check out the second one, but for those of you that have seen the first one, what are your thoughts about this? Are you glad they're making a sequel? Are you disappointed? Do you think that they should have just left it with the first movie? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the next news story, I'll be honest, I was not expecting this here, but we've got updates when it comes to the Bourne movies here. So coming from the Deadline saying a new Jason Bourne pick in the works at Universal, with All Quiet on the Western Front's Edgar Berger in talks to direct. So this is coming exclusively saying here, after his World War I epic All Quiet on the Western Front took home the Oscars for Best International feature film and 3 others, the director Edward Berger might have found his follow-up project with one of the biggest action heroes of the century. Sources tell Deadline that Universal Pictures is looking to get back into business with Jason Bourne, as the studio has already begun early development on the new installment in the Jason Bourne franchise, and that Berger is in negotiation to oversee development and direct the pick. However, I'll be completely honest with you, and this might not a hot take but just a shocking take. I've never seen any Jason Bourne movies. I've always been a mixed bag when it comes to it, because I've always leaned more towards like the Mission Impossible movies over the Jason Bourne movies. I do like Matt Damon, and I just, for some reason, just never have checked those movies out. But something does tell me that it's mostly because of like what's going on with Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, so they wanted more focus on like having Jason Bourne as the Tom Cruise of the Jason Bourne franchise in itself, so trying to do as much movies as possible. But like I said, I've just never seen the Jason Bourne movie, so I can't really be hyped or disappointed or anything in between when it comes to the movies. Based on like what I saw in terms of the reaction, people were kind of pumped about this, were happy to see another Jason Bourne movie. But what's interesting enough is the director, the one from All Quiet on the Western Front, as I mentioned in the article, taking home an Oscar for Best International Feature Film. Again, I've just not had a chance to watch the All Quiet on the Western Front. I've seen like the first 10 minutes of it and absolutely loved the visuals of it, but I just never had the chance to finish up the movie. But I've heard nothing but praise when it comes to this movie, so I'm actually kind of on board just based on like the director himself. I definitely do want to check out the Jason Bourne trilogy of movies before going into this here, because this honestly has the potential and could be a really, really fun watch. But for those of you that are huge fans of Jason Bourne movies or have seen the Bourne movies, what are your thoughts about them doing another one? Which ones are your favorite in terms of like the previous Jason Bourne movies, just as like a newcomer? Which ones I should keep an eye out on? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the next news story, one I honestly was not expecting either, is we've got an update when it comes to the Creed franchise or the Rocky franchise here, confirming that Creed 4 is in the works, with Michael B. Jordan set to return to direct Creed 4. And I'll be completely honest with you, like in terms of Creed 3, this is one I have seen now, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. It's definitely not in like the top 10 movies of the year for me, but I really enjoyed Jonathan Majors' performance in this movie. Like, it really was captivating and a really solid performance. I wasn't like a huge fan of the third act, the final fight boxing scene. Like, I liked what they were going with it, but I just wasn't a huge fan of like how it was executed. However, I really don't know what they're going to do, especially given like the outside circumstances with like Jonathan Majors and what's going on with that. Who they're going to be bringing in as like another potential villain of Creed, whether it's going to be focusing on his daughter and like leading up to her being the next person in the franchise as like the leading role, following a female boxer. I'm not 100% sure. I honestly don't have an issue with like Michael B. Jordan doing the directing, but I do think that they do need to bring back Sylvester Stallone as part of like the franchise, especially if it's going to be Adonis training his daughter as like the next big boxer. I do feel like having Sylvester Stallone will help. Now, in terms of Creed 3, he wasn't like a huge elephant in the room missing presence in the whole movie, but there was some certain scenes or some times where you kind of did feel like Sylvester Stallone should have been inserted into the scene or would have had a bigger impact if he was there. I just feel like they need to work that out. Like, obviously there's outside drama, behind the scenes stuff, which I won't get into, but if they are going to be doing a Creed 4, which it looks like they want to bring production into next year, I am curious to see what kind of direction they're going to go with, who they're going to bring back, who's going to be the villain. Hopefully we do find out more over like the next couple of months as they're working on pre-production. You see this, what are your thoughts about another Creed movie, Creed 4? What are your thoughts about the previous movie? Are you excited? Are you not that bothered? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the next news story, again, this honestly came out of the blue, but it really did get me excited here, is we've got an update when it comes to the Karate Kid movie. Now, I mentioned this like maybe a few months ago in terms of like they're wanting to develop a new Karate Kid movie, but the plot is just going to be completely different. Now, this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, saying here that Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are going to be teaming up for a new Karate Kid movie. The pair are reprising their popular characters for a feature set to be released in December of 2024. They released a video of the two of them just talking together, talking about the movie and stuff like that, looking for like the next kid to be casted in the role, because they did send out like a call sheet for what they're looking for. And honestly, my brain just exploded when I saw this. I was super pumped about this because say what you want about the 2010 Karate Kid movie with Jackie Chan, I had such a fun time with that movie. I really did enjoy it. And with me, I watched it with my whole family when I was younger. It's one of my mum's favorite movies of Hollywood because she doesn't really watch a lot of Hollywood movies. So this is one of her favorite movies that she watched, especially in theaters. And it was such a great, wholesome, really fun, entertaining, enjoyable movie. But of course, like the original one with Ralph Macchio, Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, jacket on. Like this is just a huge, enjoyable, happy moment for me personally and everybody I see the reaction to. Now, there are a couple of things here because, again, they are reprising their roles. So it looks like they're going to connect the universes, and there was a lot of like speculation about Cobra Kai and how that's going to work. I'll be honest, I've not seen Cobra Kai. I know there's just so much shit that I've got to watch, a lot of things on my wish list. I've been behind in a lot of projects just because I'm working on one specific project that has taken up a lot of my time this year. However, I don't know how they're going to connect everything or what's going to happen because I've yet to see Cobra Kai, so I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be doing with that. But it's going to be very interesting here because, as I mentioned, this was brought up a couple of months ago, and the plot of the movie was apparently going to be this kid coming from, I believe, China who moved to the US, and it's going to be the reverse role of the kid teaching the adult kung fu karate rather than the adult teaching the kid. So it was going through that route. So I'm curious to see what they're going to be doing now, because if you've got Jackie Chan and you've got Ralph Macchio, both karate kung fu experts, how that's going to be working out, and also what the dynamic is going to bring, whether they're going to be teaching individual students and then going on like a kung fu karate tournament against one another, or how that's going to work. But honestly, I couldn't care because this has just got me really, really pumped. Slightly worried because they are planning on releasing it next year, but they are looking for like casting for the child actors for the kids there. So with it being 12 months from the release date, I really don't know if they are going to get that release date or not, because of everything when it comes to like all the strike and everything, all the delay, them looking for like the casting, then to start pre-production, filming, editing, all of that stuff. I really don't know if they are going to catch that December release date of next year. I really hope I'm proven wrong, because I'm going to be first to buy that ticket to watch that movie. But you hear this, what are your thoughts are about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. What your thoughts are about Jackie and Ralph teaming up together for a karate movie, what your thoughts are about like how this is all going to take effect. Do you think they're going to target that release date? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. Okay, now before I get into like the DC side of things here with a huge casting announcement, I have to talk about Scream 7, and honestly, I wish I could talk about it with good news here, but it's just been a shit show of a storm when it comes to Scream 7. So if you aren't aware, so earlier this week, One Scooper, One Take News came out and said that Melissa Barrero, Samantha Carpenter, was dropped from Scream 7 due to controversial comments. And then just rumors were speculating and everything. And then a few hours later, all the news outlets started picking up here. So going from One Take News, coming then from Hollywood Reporter, confirming here that Melissa Barrero dropped from Scream 7 after social media posts concerning the war that's currently going on here. Now, I'm not a political channel. I'm not one of those channels that will update you when it comes to like what's going on around the world or anything like that. I really just don't want to spread any misinformation in terms of like what's going on outside of like the world or the movie industry or anything like that. I'm just not going to comment when it comes to anything like that in terms of that situation or what's going on, who's right or wrong or anything like that. This is just solely focusing on Scream 7 and movie and entertainment news stuff, because again, coming from the Hollywood Reporter here saying that she's no longer going to be starring in Scream 7, the actress was dropped from the project after a series of social media posts in the wake of the war here. And again, I'm not going to just read out what was said here or anything like that, so I'll be posting up the screenshot on the screen right here for you guys to be checking it out, for you guys to be giving it a read here. However, this is basically what Melissa Barrero had to say, and based on like what she has been posting, what she's been saying, I think the whole audience just came together and honestly was behind Melissa Barrero. Like, I do not see anything wrong with what she said or anything like that. However, then she has been dropped from the role because of these stuff, and honestly everybody just came together supporting Melissa Barrero, because for me as well personally, I really don't see anything wrong with what she said here or anything like that. And then what's funny is that Spyglass, the people behind the Scream franchise, they issued a statement saying that we have a zero tolerance for anything anti-Semitism or incitement of hate in any form. They continue here, but the fact that they were trying to bury Melissa Barrera, especially with that statement, really does not show a good look for them, and they kind of just pissed on every single fan, doing everything they can basically to try and get rid of her. And then the new director for the Scream franchise here is Christopher Landon, came out on the firing of Melissa Barrera, basically saying here, this is my statement, everything sucks, stop yelling, this was not my decision to make. Now I kind of get where he's coming from when it's like not his decision, but the fact that he's going, this is my statement, everything sucks, stop yelling, like that really, like, I get his intention, but that really isn't helping the situation whatsoever here. A lot of people were saying to boycott the Scream franchise. A lot of people were just up in arms with it, because it really does look like Spyglass was just doing anything, finding any excuse to get rid of Melissa Barrera. Because again, I'm going to say this again, I don't see anything wrong with what she said in her statement whatsoever here. And so then that all took place. 24 hours later, we then got another update. So Melissa Barrera no longer part of the Scream 7 franchise. 24 hours later, Jenna Ortega, the second Carpenter sister, has dropped out of the project as well. Now, according to like multiple different sources, multiple different outlets, completely different reasons as to why she has dropped out of the project. For example, one coming from the Deadline here saying Jenna Ortega not returning for Scream 7 due to the Wednesday shooting schedule. Now again, lots of different reasons, scheduling issues or supporting Melissa Barrera. It's just very weird how the timing of this, 24 hours after Melissa Barrera gets fired, Jenna Ortega is dropping out of the role here, but they want to emphasize that it's got nothing to do with Melissa Barrera's fallout. So now you've got both the Carpenter sisters out of the project, out of Scream 7, and it just really brings the movie down a lot. Like, with everything going on here now, I've mentioned it when we do get updates when it comes to like Ghostface or when it comes to like the Scream movie. I get excited, I'm happy, I'm enjoying what they're going to be doing with it, speculations and everything like that. But honestly, after all of this, I really don't have any excitement for the next movie or anything like that whatsoever. And with these two now, the Carpenter sisters, completely out of the movie, you kind of think that the rest of the core four, like Mindy and Chad, probably are going to follow suit. Now, in terms of like the outlets and the reporters and everything like that, they kind of confirmed that the core four weren't really signed on. Like, you had the two movies, Scream 5 and 6, which is what they were contracted with, but then they were looking to re-sign them and everything like that. But rumors about Jenna Ortega was that she was busy. She was going to only appear in a couple of scenes, a couple of cameos here and there. So they were going to have Melissa Barrera as a star, which of course eventually would lead to Melissa Barrera looking for lots of money. So she's going to be the lead. But then that was the excuse to then fire her because they didn't want to go through that. So then later on that day, we got another article from the Variety saying Scream 7 faces full creative reboot after losing Jenna Ortega. Nev Campbell and Patrick Dempsey from Scream 3 are on the wish list. So now that, like I said, they're going to do a complete rewrite of the script. They want Nev Campbell, Sidney Prescott to return to the franchise. They want to make her the lead. I don't know what's going to happen with that because she's kind of like on a double-edged sword. Like, if she does join it, then everybody's going to be saying, oh, why didn't you support Melissa or anything like that? If she doesn't join it and stuff like that, she can kind of be black flagged from Hollywood because of everything going on there. Like, it's just kind of like a weird place right now. But with the fact that like they're trying to do everything they can to bring Sydney, after basically saying that they can't give her enough money in Scream 6, it's just very, very odd here. And I'll be completely honest with you. You can bring back Sidney Prescott. You can bring back Gail. You can even bring back Stu. I really just won't be that excited. I really don't know if I'll even like go check it out in theaters. I may check it out on streaming eventually, but I really don't have all that excitement from Scream 7, especially given the situation. Like, it's left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth that you could honestly announce the original cast returning and I really don't even see a lot of people be that excited for it. So it's kind of just like a weird place when it comes to like the Scream 7. It's just such a disappointing move with Spyglass and like how they handled everything here. This is like one of the most disappointing news of the week. And so I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What your thoughts are about the whole situation, if you have been following it from day one, what your thoughts are about how everything was handled, and also, are you even that excited for Scream 7? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the final news story, we've got updates when it comes to like DC side of things here. So first, I want to talk about the Penguin series, so the HBO Penguin series that is. So we've got an update here confirming that the Penguin is heading back into production. The Max DC series, which stars Colin Farrell in a spin-off of the film The Batman, is set to be returning to filming the week after Thanksgiving. And we even get a first look at Colin Farrell's Penguin here, as you see him coming from the Empire Online again. Now, it's really honestly not much to go by here, but you just see the back of him with him turning. But we kind of got a small minor update when it comes to the series here. So it says here that the Penguin series will pick up days after where the Batman ended, exploring the moves that Cobblepot makes in the power vacuum left by Carmine Falcone's departure. We're not going to have like a huge time jump or anything like that here, but it's just so good to hear that we are going to see the Penguin returning. We might be getting some behind the scenes pictures or some set photos or stuff like that when it comes to the Penguin. So definitely keep an eye out on that. But what are your thoughts? Are you excited about this? Are you glad that they're going to be working on production once again? What your thoughts are about this taking place right after the end of the Batman movie? Please let me know all of that in the comment section down below. But of course, the big news story of the week when it comes to the DC side of things here is we have got finally an announcement when it comes to the casting of Lex Luthor. So coming from the Deadline, confirming here that Superman legacy Nicholas Hoult lands the role of Lex Luthor, and the whole internet was honestly behind this casting here. Like, Nicholas Hoult, who did audition for the Batman, who did audition for the Superman, is now going to get his revenge on both those characters by playing Lex Luthor here in James Gunn's movie. I really am excited to see how he's going to do. I don't think he's going to be like a huge character in the Superman legacy movie, just because there's so many people in the movie in itself. But I think he's going to play like a minor role and then eventually lead up to like the sequel or which other movie projects he is going to be taking parts in. But this honestly is just a huge great choice when it comes to the casting of Lex Luthor. Like, James Gunn really is cooking when it comes to the Superman, it comes to DC side of things here. But that's not all when it comes to like Superman or James Gunn's Superman that is here. We did get more casting announcements. So again, coming from Deadline, confirming that Superman Legacy adds Sarah Sampia, apologies if I butchered that name. She's going to be playing Eve Tessmacher, Lex Luthor's love interest. I'll be honest, I've not seen her in any previous work or anything like that here, so I'm not 100% sure in terms of the casting or anything like that. But again, I trust James Gunn when it comes to like his casting here. But once again, similar to like Lex Luthor, I don't think she's going to play a huge role in the first movie, but she's definitely going to have a major part to play with in the whole DC franchise. But I can see this in terms of like Nicholas Hoult and her as a dynamic. I think that could work really well. But again, that's not all when it comes to casting for Superman Legacy here, as James Gunn really was cooking this week. Coming from the Hollywood Reporter, confirming here that Superman Legacy has cast Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen. Apologies if I butchered his name here, but you're having Lex Luthor, you've got Eve Tessmacher, and now you've got Jimmy Olsen here. And once again with this character, I've honestly not seen him in any previous projects or anything like that, but the internet was all in favor for this casting choice. So again, trust James Gunn. Really curious to see what he's going to do. He's definitely got that vibe of Jimmy Olsen. The cast, with the set being complete here, so you've got Lois Lane, you've got Clark Kent, now you've got Jimmy Olsen, you've got Lex Luthor and Eve Tessmacher, along with all the other casts that he did announce here. So this is like a big, not star-studded, but like a big cast for the Superman movie. It's kind of interesting to see what James Gunn is going to be doing with this project, with this movie. I do trust James Gunn. I do trust how he's going to be handling this, but I'm really curious to see his vision. Like, I want some plot details. I want some kind of like announcement of like where they're going to go with this movie, because all these casting, your brain starts just moving around in terms of like what they're going to do with it here. But every day getting more news about Superman Legacy here, it really does just get me curious and also excited to see what, again, James Gunn is going to be stirring up with the Superman Legacy movie here. So you see these casting choice here. What are your thoughts are about in terms of like the actors and actresses and also the characters that they are going to be portraying? What are your thoughts about all of that? Please let me know in the comment section down below. But that about wraps it up for the weekly entertainment news video here. Again, tons to go over, so I want to hear your thoughts on everything. Please let me know all of this in the comment section down below. And again, if you are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing because we do these every single week. I have got a Twitter, link is in the description down below. And if you have seen the Invincible mid-season episodes 1 to 4, I did a review, So you can check that out somewhere around here. And again, tons of videos coming your way. Got lots of ideas brewing for the month of December. So definitely keep an eye out on the channel. But I thank you so much for watching. I thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.